Mr. Ahmed Bari, I said about you, and he was very, very happy to hear that.
Oh, wow. Well, we're on live now, so thank you very much for that.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
hi, guys. How are you doing? My name is Jacqueline Francis, and welcome again to another series of Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet. So, I have a special guest with me today, all the way from Bangladesh. I'm so grateful to her for joining me. Her name is Sadia. Um, Sadia, if you can just introduce yourself a little bit and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay, that's really, very happy to be with you here in broadcast. I'm Sadia from Bangladesh. Today, I'm here to share with you and with Jacqueline about my stories and talk about some. It was like the don't sweep under the carpet, and it is
Mm,
actually. And we
yes.
will love to share our stories and also talk with you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I do stop sweeping under the carpet for women, for those people who don't know, for those women who, and young girls who are experienced or who have experienced domestic abuse. The idea of stop sweeping under the carpet is we don't want to hide what's going on anymore, ab- hide abuse, actually, what's going on anymore. We don't want to keep
Yes.
sweeping it under the carpet. We need to empower our young women and our girls to build the confidence to talk about their experiences. If we hide our experiences, then we would never eradicate or mitigate abuse. So to have you
Yes.
on and other women on, guest speakers on, sharing their experience, the whole idea is to inspire other women and girls to talk about what they have been going through and what they want to share with other women as well. It's actually a domino effect, because if they see one person talking about it, and your story might resonate with somebody else, do you know what I mean? And they were like saying, "Oh, that happened to me. How did she get out of it? How did she deal with it to become the person that she is now?" So that's the whole idea of stop sweeping under the carpet. So today's topic, we're talking about, do I stay for the sake of the children? So before we actually touch on that, I'd like Sadia, if she can, to explain to share her story with us, and then we can jump onto go into in greater detail to say, do I stay for the sake of the children? So Sadia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, first of all, I want to tell you that you have to set your priority. As in my case, I have been passing my married life 9 years, and it was not very happy from the beginning. It was very devastating from the first. But at first, I was thinking about that. Okay, it will be fine. It will be okay. But gradually, as the time passes by, I have seen that it wasn't okay. And there is a saying that, oh, when you are going to be mother or you are a mother, the problems will get solved on their way. But it wasn't that actually. I must
Mm,
admit that.
right,
So
right.
what happened after becoming mother? I have seen so many problems raising very, very much. Gradually, it was like happening in front of my child, and
Oh,
I was thinking, I am sacrificing so many things for my child, but I can't ensure him a good environment, or an honest environment, and a very friendly environment. He was watching everything, every occurrences in front of him was every day. So I thought that I shouldn't give my child such kind of environment to live as a
mm,
human being. Today, he is a very child. He will be a human being for the world, for someone else, and for the society. So
mm,
why should I don't try to give him an environment to live happily and to become a very good human being? That
mm,
is what I thought, to
right.
get out of that relationship and search a good environment for my child.
Mm,
That is why today I am here.
And
with
I'm
my
glad.
child, trying to give him a better environment to become a very very good person and a very good human being, because
Yeah,
the world needs human being, not a person as male or
absolutely.
female, a very good human being.
Absolutely. Okay, so you've frozen a little bit, but we'll continue. I'm sure you can hear me. You say that you've been married for 9 years. What was the first signs that you were seeing that things weren't quite right? Okay, so, oh gosh, unfortunately, Sadia has frozen. The screen has frozen. So, hopefully she'll try to restart it. Okay, so Nadia was saying that she was married for 9 years, and from the very beginning, things were not working out very well for her. She saw signs, there were problems earlier on in the relationship, um, and it was happening in front of her child. And she also went on to say that she done a lot of she experienced a lot of sacrifices so that her child can grow up in a safe environment. And hopefully we've lost Sadia, unfortunately. I'm hoping that she'll be able to get back on, but while she does try to get back on, I'll just continue with what's going on here. So yeah, so she doesn't want her child to grow up in an environment. Oh, hi Sadia, can you hear me? She doesn't want her
Hello.
child to grow back. Can you hear me? Hello? Hi? Can you hear me? Oh my, hold
So
on.
sorry, so sorry. There is interruption. I'm so sorry.
No, 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 not to worry, because I know that the internet is not as perfect as everyone would want it to be. I was just recapping what you were talking about. And for those people who have just joined us, Sadia is here to share her experience of her abuse and with her partner and why she left for the sake of her child. So if anyone wants to join the conversation, if anyone has any comments, please do put them in the comments box, and either myself or Sadia will be glad to answer it for you. So Sadia, just going back now, you were saying that you were married for 9 years and you started to
Yes.
see problems quite quickly. Can you just
Yes.
explain to us what type of problems you were seeing quite quickly in your marriage?
Okay. I must say it was fully domestic violence,
Mm,
every kind of domestic violence there. As I said, I was studying, I was in the fourth semester, studying in International Business Department of University of Dhaka, and I had a very, very bright planning about my future, about my career. But I was forced to stop my study and take care of the child. I was ready to do that, but I was suffering so much violence. It's about um, uh, oral violences, abuses, or also I must say take, he used to beat me anyway. So I was just shattered. What's going
yeah,
on? I
yeah.
haven't done anything wrong. I always tell everyone that if I do anything wrong,
Okay, so we're still
you
having
are the
problems.
person to correct me, but not by hitting me or beating me. You can try to pacify or try to make me understand.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
So that is the thing I was suffering from 9 years.
Wow. I mean, you were saying that you were studying. So when did you get married, before you were studying or during your studies?
During my studies, it was fourth semester of uh, my BBA study.
Right. Okay. So the fact that, I mean, obviously being abused during that time when you were studying and having a young child as well, that's obviously not conducive to you and the relationship, the marriage. So I wanted to ask
Yes, yes.
how the theme is, do I stay for the sake of the children? At what point, you were not married for 9 years, at what point did you make that decision to leave, and how difficult was it for you?
Okay. My child was then about 5.5 years. He was
Mm,
studying in school, and it was everyday scenario.
okay.
Any type of abuse, any type of violence. It was like, oh, why didn't you do that? Or why didn't I have that? Okay. But I was trying every way to manage everything. But it's like that I have to take care of my child too, because the person is my priority. My priority is my child, because he is a very kid. He doesn't have the ability to accept every way. So
Mm,
I was about to take care of my child, but the thing was that I was forced to take care beyond my capacity. No one can go beyond his capacity or beyond her capacity. We
mm,
have to maintain that, we have to take care of that. But I was deprived of everything, and I was about to do every way, manage every way, whatever comes in front of me.
mm,
So gradually, whenever my child was growing up, he is 4.5 years, and he started seeing, watching everything, and also complaining to others that there is something wrong, there is something wrong. But there is no pacifying mentality uh, within them to
mm,
talk with
mm,
me or manage the environment, whatever it is. So I was shattered watching my child after having such environment. He was just calm down, sitting quietly, and watching what was happening with me in front of
mm.
him.
Wow.
That was very shocking.
So the abuse was taking place in front of your child. Your
Exactly,
child.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And, and he was complaining to some other family members, but they didn't care about. Oh, okay, maybe it's your fault. I
Yeah.
have been hearing for this for so many years. Maybe it's your fault. You have to manage. You have to pacify him. You have to take care of him. You have to listen whatever he tells
Yeah.
anytime. You have to
Yeah.
listen. So I was thinking that yes, he is an educated person. An educated person cannot do such occurrences in front of a child,
Mm,
even if he is of his own child or some other else. But it's shocking, it's psychologically hampering. That
yeah.
triggered my mind.
Mm,
And
mm.
after that, I started thinking I must take care of my son's psychological health also.
So,
So that is why
mm,
I took the decision to go away from that relationship and search for a better environment for my child.
right, right. And that's obviously the right thing to do. Um, can I just go back? You mentioned that your child was complaining to other family members, and family members were saying that it's blaming you,
Yes.
which is um, you saying that you're the one that's in the wrong. You're the one that's has to be working on the marriage. Why else would he be abusing you? He must be abusing you because you're doing something
Yes.
wrong. And of course, that's not the case. That's never the case. You can't justify abusing violence against a woman or a child. You can't do that. Um, so when your child, the fact that your child was saying this to another family member, I mean, how did that make you feel? Because obviously it's happening in front of him.
It was so embarrassing and so much hurting that you are having such an abusive words, abusive. I was shattered, fully shattered. I had nothing
Yeah,
to say. It was like that. I stopped talking with him for half an hour, even for 1 hour or 2 hours. after such
Mm,
occurrences.
mm. Oh my goodness. So for women or young girls, because I mean, abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter what country that you're in. The
Yes, exactly.
experience, the experience that you are having is the same experience that we'll be having in the UK and different parts of the world, and the the things that the family members or friends are saying are exactly the same that family members will be saying here. Maybe you're doing something wrong. And then it sort of wears down your self-confidence. And then did you at any time start to think, well, well, maybe I am doing something wrong? Or did you know categorically, no, this is not my fault, it's yours?
Yes.
Mm, yeah, yeah. So if someone is going through something, a similar experience to you, what would you say to them if, especially if they have children? The theme is, the topic is, do I stay for the sake of the children? Many
Yes.
women will say that they will stay for the sake of the children. But the impact, thinking, not intentionally thinking that they're doing the right thing. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe because their partner is the one who is the breadwinner and brings the finances in. How would my children get fed and clothes if my partner doesn't give me any money? So I will stay. Do you know what I mean? But your advice to them is what? Would your advice to them be?
Okay. So at first, I have said that set up your priority first. Whatever you want to do, just decide what you would like to do in for future, not for the present being, because people are mostly thinking of such present situation, or what should I do now? But at first, we must think.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're having some problems again with the internet connection. So just quickly recap. So if you've just joined us, my name is Jacqueline Francis. This is Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet. And this is a platform where women will share their experiences of abuse to empower other women and girls if they are going through a similar experience, not to stay in a relationship, but also to inspire women and girls that if it is happening to you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You will be able to get out of it, because I know a lot of women and girls feel that they can't get out of it, that this is going to be their life. And here is a prime example where Sadia is sharing her experience, and she's saying, well, look, this is what happened to me. And I came out of it, and this is where I am now. So it is possible. um, okay, so if you do have any comments, please do put them in the comments box. Please give us your thoughts. What are your thoughts on domestic abuse? Will we ever will we ever mitigate violence against women and girls? So if you can put your questions or your answers or your comments in the comments box. So Sadia, I was just recapping again what it is that you were saying. Um,
Okay.
with regards to what we're living in an age now where, okay, COVID is now with us. Do you know what I mean? And there has been a huge rise in domestic abuse. Excuse me. There's been a huge rise in domestic abuse. So what? How? I feel as if we've gone 10 steps backward. I feel as if we were moving forward, and now with
Yeah.
this, with the lockdown, there are huge numbers saying that women are and girls are experiencing more abuse. So will we ever get to that point where we can mitigate abuse, do you think? What are your
Uh,
thoughts?
okay. Um, I must say that abusing mitigation is not one-sided anything.
Mm,
It starts with each and every family members. It starts with psychological advancement and psychological adjustment. Whenever the spouse, I must say spouse, because there are also some people says that female also abuses man in different ways. So I'm
mm,
using the spouse word spouse. So
yeah.
First, take care of your psychological adjustment. It
mm,
will help mitigate the domestic abuse mostly. Whenever you are thinking, she is my female partner, or else she is your partner. Later, she is your female partner. So take care of such psychological adjustment first, then it will be
mm,
mitigated every way.
mm. Yeah, I think what's interesting is the fact that if your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, whatever terminology that you want to use, is has not even considered the impact of their actions will have on their child. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Because someone's asking, well, they were asking what the session was about. So the session is about, do you stay for the sake of the children? Do you know what I mean? Do you leave a relationship or do you stay? The impact on staying, as you have clearly mentioned, the psychological abuse, but it can also trigger depression, anxiety to the child as well as to you, but to the child as well. Depending on the age of the child, also sleepless nights, um, um, temper tantrums, nightmares. I mean,
yes,
did your
exactly.
did your child experience any of those? Did temper tantrums or so forth?
Yes, yes, exactly. There are so much tension. There is so much nightmares. It was like that. Sometimes my child was just, oh, Amu, I don't want to move. I
Mm,
want to just stuck here. I don't want to go that room or go somewhere else. I want to be with you every time.
mm,
So
mm,
it was very very pressurizing, and
mm,
I just thought how to pacify my child, how
mm,
to take care of him, because he was too much disturbed that time.
mm,
And
mm,
I must say it was increasing gradually. That is why I thought about betterment anyway. As
mm,
there was nothing to do with my partner or nothing to do with that home, that environment. That is
mm,
why I took the step to go forward with my child alone.
yeah. Okay, so let's just give a quick shout to those people who've taken the time to comment or show up. Thank you, Sabir. Um,
Thank you.
I,
My pleasure.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but I will try. It's the Q. I'm not quite sure whether I pronounced that correctly or not. And thank you, Sazia. And who else have we got?
Yes,
Um,
it's my friend. Good day.
oh, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to put a comment, and if you have a comment based on what Sadia has been saying, please do share with us. So overall, we can say that it's don't think that by staying that you are helping your child. Don't think that because your child is in another room that they can't hear what's going on. And also
Yes,
don't think that they
yes,
can't
yes,
see
exactly, exactly.
what's they
They feel,
can. And
mostly they feel.
exactly. And the impact that it will have on that child growing up, we have just mentioned the psychological, the emotional. And when that child grows up, do you think, I mean, I don't know for you, do you think if you stayed that your child, is it a son you have? Is it a son, a boy? Is it a
I'm
boy or do
sorry,
you have a boy or a girl?
boy. He's a
Boy.
boy.
Okay. So do you think your son will grow up to be an abuser? Is that something that you were afraid of or didn't even occur to you at the time? Or you just wanted to just to get out?
So, I'm sorry.
I was
So
just
much
asking,
interaction.
yes, so some people say that children, if they are in an abusive relationship, that they will grow up to be abusers themselves. Did that cross your mind?
I want to share one thing very important for all the people to know. My child was behaving different way. I have been nurturing him very politely, being very polite, being very honoring to others, respectful to others. But sometimes I have seen him talking differently. It was shocking. Oh, I haven't said these things any time in front of you. How do you say some words?
Mm.
I was too much shocking. He's a very lovely child of mine.
Yeah,
He is a boy, but he's too polite, I must say.
yeah,
But the thing was that sometimes he was talking in a way, watching. Every time he was watching that person talking that way, and he was copying.
right,
You
right.
know, childs are too much copying.
Yes.
It was hurting too
Mm,
much.
mm,
I have been very respectful to others. So whenever I see my child is talking in different way, in some very loud or some different words, it was
mm,
just
mm.
ah, how can you
Right.
say such words? It
Yeah, and
actually impacts very much impactful.
absolutely, absolutely. And Caroline, thank you, Caroline, for joining us. You just said the worry of learnt behavior and then acting on default. And that's right, because, the child is learning from the adults in the room. Do you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
if he sees his father behaving that way, then he will copy, he will learn that behavior. So in order
Exactly.
for you to I mean, obviously, you don't want your child growing up, and being a replica of his father. So I'm glad that you took him out of the equation or the environment or the situation. I'm glad that you were able to recognize the way that he was speaking to you, the way that he was behaving towards you, because I think some women maybe at times get caught up in the relationship and they forget about the impact that it's having on the children, and through no fault of their own. But I always ask this question because the onus always seems to be on the women to do something.
Exactly.
What about the men? I get really quite annoyed that it's great that we have this platform and we are talking, but there needs to be
Yes.
education. What type of education do you think that we can give to our men and to our boys? I mean, what would you say to your child, to educate him about abuse or unhealthy
Okay.
relationships?
Okay. So I just tell my child, you are a person, you are a human being. Every time I keep telling him every week, don't hurt anyone with your words. I
Mm,
always tell him that. Don't hurt anyone, Baba. You are my good
mm,
son, you are the best. Every time, every day, at least 4 to 5 times I keep telling you, Baba, you are the best person, you're the best son in the world. And he replies, Ma, Amu, Ma, you are the best mom in the world. So that is so
oh,
lovely. But I tell him every day to make sure that he is an important human being in the world.
mm,
So
mm,
uh,
mm,
being a son is important, but being a very, very good human being is important for the world. I think every time I teach, whenever I talk with him, make him feel that you are important, not
yeah.
only for me, for the world, for the society, and for the surroundings. So every time I tell him, never hurt anyone, you are a protector for female,
Mm,
also for everyone. I tell
mm,
him every day at least 3 times. So whenever he sometimes do anything naughty, oh baby, don't do that. You
yes.
can't. You are a protector. You are a
Yeah.
good human being. So he just, sorry, I have done this. Oh, I'm just correcting. And it's so lovely. I tell him
Absolutely,
every day.
absolutely. But I think I'm going to, I mean, we've been talking for a while now and we're coming actually to the end, but I just want to add this in because it's all to do with mindset. And there are a lot
Yes.
of men out there, I'm not against men or anything like that, who are misogynist. And it's in a family unit in some countries, it's very patriotic, patriarchal. you know, where the men are the head and whatever men say goes. Do you know what I mean? And the women are second class citizens. And it's time to change the status quo. It's time to change the type of discourse that they are having with themselves. It's time to change their mindset. And, you know,
Yes.
I would love the opportunity to have men on this program to speak about, especially if they are a perpetrator, not that they would admit that they are a perpetrator, but why do men do what they do to women? And women are, we are such strong people, you know, our sex is such a strong, we are so strong, you know, and
Yes.
without us,
Yes.
fact of the matter
Exactly.
is, without us as women, you know, let me see how you actually get on with yourself. Do you know what I mean? So um, COVID, as I said, has shone a light on the abuse that is going on all around the world. I want to speak to women from different parts of the world to establish or
Yes.
to find out what their experiences are. We can talk a lot more about this, but we're going to wrap it up. But if you have any final words, I think we have come to the conclusion that do not stay for the sake of the children. We know what impact it has on children, you know. So any last words or comments that you'd like to say?
Okay. Um, uh, I have heard a recent story of not very known. It's like a friend just in Facebook abuse, and she has two children. So I was shattered. What you are educated, you don't have the environment to cope up with anything. But the thing is that you must think about your child. They are growing up in an uh, worse environment, I
Mm,
must say. I have suggested her also, think about the environment your child is growing, children are growing up. So the last thing I want to share, there are so many occurrences around us in Asia. We have seen so many occurrences, and also it's a pandemic situation everywhere in the world. We are hearing every day so many cases of domestic violence and domestic abuses. So it's your time to step forward to what do you think to give the priority, give
yeah,
the priority and step forward to a better environment, a better social status, and hopefully a better life. So
absolutely, absolutely.
think
I
of
just
that,
want.
think of that.
Okay, so before we go, Veronica has jumped on. Thank you very much, Veronica, for joining us. Children who are caught up in domestic abuse or domestic violence may exhibit some mental illness later in life. It's important to consider moving to a safe and conducive environment for the sake of our children. And that's exactly what you were just saying.
Yes,
Um,
yes, exactly, I was saying that.
exactly, for the sake of
Thank
the.
you, Veronica.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another one comment here. Farhin says, proper mindset is very important to be learned. Um,
Thank you, Farin. She's
so,
from AdviS, my organization.
oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Okay. Hi. Thank you very much for joining us. And it's
Yes,
true.
yes, yes.
It's,
You remember? So lovely, Farin.
yeah, it is, and she's absolutely right in terms of mindset. And it's to try to change the way that people think, men think. I'm saying men here because don't get me wrong, we are aware that there are women who abuse men as well, but we can see that the statistics show that the figures are higher that men abusing women. So it is all about mindset and changing the way that things have been done culturally. I mean, in a country such as yours, Bangladesh or Pakistan or Africa or whatever country, it seems to be the norm that women are accepting that this is the way of life, and it's not. And it's time for women, as you say, to step up. Um, and say, well, look, this is not the norm. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. You need to, fix yourself up, so to speak. You need to come better than this. You need to change the way that you see us as women. So sorry, I'm just paraphrasing here while you were frozen. So I was just saying that you're right in terms of men need to step up. Women also need to step up to tell their
Yes.
men and their boys that, this is not right. This, you cannot do this. You must be more respectful. We must have mutual respect for each other.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's important.
absolutely. So as Fahim said, yeah, mindset is very important in a situation such as this. But we will carry on talking about abuse until the figures decrease, until there is some sort of change that men can see that this is not the right thing to do. So we will keep on empowering. So that's the end of our interview with the interview with Sadia today. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure, dear. Thank you so much, Jackie.
You are welcome anytime.
Mhm.
Caroline says respect is key. Caroline also jumped on to say respect is key. Of course, mutual respect is absolutely key.
Yes, yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. So if any one of your friends or colleague has a similar experience, or if there's anyone within your country or your friendship that wants to talk about domestic abuse and what can be done and what should be doing to empower women, then please do come and get in contact. So yeah, that's it. Let's draw it to a close. Thank you so much to all of those who joined us, and thank you for those who shared their comments as well.
Thank you so much, Jackie, and thank you so much, audiences.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So take care, and until next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.